Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Yep. So what are we going to talk about today? So trying to be happy. So I started reading. So this year I made it one of my New Year's resolutions to start reading books. And then so the first book I got was this book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. So in chapter 2 of this book talks about how happiness is overrated and how happiness, you know, is a facade, it's fake. So it talks about the story. Okay, so there's a story in this book, in this chapter, that goes like this. So there's a king, an emperor, who's having a son, or who was gonna have a son. So he decided that he's gonna make the life he's gonna make his son's life as perfect as possible. No hardships, no adversity, nothing. He's gonna make his life as luxurious, as lavish as he could. He was not going to face any hardship. He's not going to see any poverty. He's going to have servants, the most hardworking of servants, the most beautiful ladies, the best food, and everything. So the prince grew up. So when he had the son, yeah, his son grew up with all the lavish lifestyle and everything. So when his son became a man, you'd expect him to be happy because he had all the riches and everything. But instead, he grew up pissed off. He was angry. So he decided that, you know what, I'm gonna I'm gonna leave the palace. I'm gonna see how the world actually is. So he ordered one of his servants to get a horse and then get a carriage, and then he was inside the carriage and they decided to go around the town to see how everything is. And then the priest was so bewildered to see how everything outside was. He saw so much suffering, so much poverty, so much anger, so much death, hunger, like every adversity you could think about. And then he got shocked and then he kind of went into an existential crisis for the next few days he was in the palace. So he decided that, you know what, I'm going to confront my dad about this. That why is everybody suffering? And why is everything like this? Because he couldn't really get answers from his dad. So he decided that, you know what, I'm going to leave the palace. I'm going to live as a poor person. I'm going to give a forfeit to all my clothing, my belongings, my servants, all my good food, and then live as a beggar out on the street. So after years and years of suffering, anger, pain, he realized that like nothing changed. He still hadn't gotten his answers. He still was the same person that was struggling with his existential crisis. He was still the same person struggling with how everything was to go, you know. I don't know, like none of his problems solved. So he decided, you know what, I'm gonna confront these problems. So he went under it. So he cleaned up, showered, and then he went under a tree. And then he decided to meditate until he came up with some answers about himself and about how the universe and the world runs. And the main thing I realized that suffering, suffering might suck, but it does not mean that like your suffering is meaningful. You might suffer just to suffer. You might suffer not to get any good thing in return. I know some people think that like, yo, I'm gonna grind all day, like I'm gonna study hard. It doesn't mean you're gonna get the best grades. It doesn't mean you're gonna be successful at what you're doing. So thinking of suffering as something you get a reward from is kind of weird because it doesn't guarantee success. Suffering doesn't guarantee success. So there were two main lessons he got. The The first one is that everything in life is a form of suffering. Whether you're rich, you're poor, you have the best family, you don't have any family, you suffer because of what you have. You suffer because of rich people. Rich people suffer because of the money they have. Because of the money you have, you can, let's say, get more depressed easily because you're not doing things regular people do. You find it hard to relate to normal people because they see you differently. As a rich person, they treat you differently and everything. And then likewise, like if you're poor, you suffer because you cannot afford things that other people can get. If you have a family, you suffer because they're probably gonna be on your neck all the time. If you have a family, you suffer because you might not have someone to talk to. If you're getting perfect grades, you get so much expectations on you that once you don't get like your regular very high grades that you usually get, you feel so down, you feel so worthless, and your self-worth just dies. The second thing you realize is that happiness isn't algorithmic. You might think that if I do this, I'm gonna be happier. Like if I get if I get a GPA 4.0 in my next semester, I'm gonna be happier. If I make this amount of money, I'm gonna be happy. If I get a girlfriend, I'm gonna be happy. But happiness doesn't work like that because once you get to that level, you'll be like, this doesn't feel good. It's like Pokemon. You know, the first time like you want to level up your Pokemon to level 100, and you're so excited to like level up your first Pokemon to level 100, and then when you get your Pokemon to level 100, you're like, is that it? Is that everything? You did for the second one, you did for the third one, and then bam, it just becomes so boring. Like it feels like you're gonna need something to replace that feeling, that sunken feeling that you have. So happiness, like it keeps on going and going and going. If you get what you think will get you happy, you'll probably not be happy. You want to get more things to be happy. If you make like, I make $70,000 a year, let me try and make $100,000 a year. Once you get to that $100,000 a year, gets more. Your brain's like, what if I can make 200K a year? And then it keeps on going like that. The cycle keeps on repeating. So happiness isn't algorithmic, and everything in life is a form of suffering. You suffer from whatever you have. So finally, I like to say just live your life. And then, by the way, the person was the rich kid that we talked about was actually Buddha. Like the guy that like the Buddhism guy, the guy that's like very popular. Yeah, you feel me? So that's it. Anyways, I'll see you later. Bye. Peace. No.